An Unexpected Future by A-Series on AU3. Episode 19, Chapter 19. Entering His Domain. Technically, Five was a spectator. He even went to the stands and everything. But once the first event started, and everyone was distracted by the events, Five let himself fall back into his chair and teleported into the mostly deserted stadium hallways. He could hear Yamada's commentary through the speakers, and the cheering of the crowd through the walls. Part of him was disappointed to be missing the show, but he had already seen these kids go at it in class, and he had something important to do. Once he was in an empty hallway with a security camera, he tilted his head back and looked it directly in the eye. "Hey, Nedzu, let's have a chat. I need to talk to you about something." He waited for a moment, but didn't get a response. Shrugging, Five continued to wander down the halls. He knew Nedzu had gotten his message. Nedzu always knew what he was up to. Sure enough, as he was passing down a hallway, a wall that had no obvious door opened up as Five was walking past, revealing a hidden corridor too small for an adult human. Fancy and ominous. Taking the invitation for what it was, Five slipped into the entrance, letting the door shut behind him. There was about a 2-foot difference between the old corridor and where Five was now, so if he needed to, he could always teleport out. But for now, he followed down the narrow passage and dim light, the tips of his hair brushing against the ceiling, and at one point, the tunnel went straight up with barely any grip, and Five had to teleport up to the next level. It wasn't too long before the corridor opened up to a larger room. A relatively large panel of one-way glass stretched across the opposite wall, looking out to the festive below. Surrounding the glass were security cameras, looking out over the various stadium grounds. And as well as the official broadcasts, Nedzu himself was in a chair specifically made for his statue, which shriveled around when Five entered, washing out Nedzu's face even more than the usual dim screen light. "Young Mr. Hargreeves," he said in English. "I wasn't expecting a voluntary visit from you. How can I be of assistance?" "Believe it or not, I'm here to report an incident," Five said, slipping his hands in his pockets as he squared his shoulders. "Not a villain incident, per se, but one I have reason to believe that you will take great interest in." "Intriguing." Nedzu held up a paw to his chin. "I would offer for you to sit down, but I was not anticipating any guests. Tea?" He pulled out a second cup and saucer from the drawer, and reached for his tea kettle. Five wandered up next to where Nedzu was sitting. "You weren't expecting guests, yet you have a second cup." "It never hurts to be prepared." Nedzu offered the filled cup to him. Five looked at the cup from Nedzu, and this time accepted the tea, taking a deliberate sip in front of him. Damn it, still disgustingly good. "Now, what can I help you with?" Nedzu said, good-naturedly, keeping one eye on the proceedings. Shoto was fighting the lead of the obstacle course well. He and Bakugo were nearly going head-to-head, if the hidden bombs weren't getting in the way. Glancing around the cameras, there wasn't much to see outside of the stands. "How much do you look into your students?" Five asked. "Have you found one of them acting suspiciously?" "Less a student and more their parent," Five said, focusing fully on Nedzu now. "They're doing something they shouldn't, and I expect action to be taken." "We, of course, will do everything in our power to protect our students," Nedzu assured him. "I know you will." Five's grin was sharp, and he leaned down towards Nedzu. "Because if you don't, I will. And trust me, this will definitely disrupt your precious timeline if I take matters into my own hands." Nedzu's face was ever impasse, but his tail swash agiliated. "I don't appreciate the implication that you would need to persuade me to take care of my own students. but I understand your skepticism. Please tell me your concerns. Five nodded towards the glass. Todoroki Shoto is like us. Nezu's eyes hardened. Explain. He pulled me aside the other day. Basically, Endeavor used the old-fashioned method of genetic experimentation to make the perfect quirk. He doesn't care about his wife or kids, just that he has an heir that could upsure All Might's title of being number one. He's been training Shoto for this since his quirk came in. And I gotta say, it sounded a hell lot of like what I went through. I want that man destroyed. I want Shoto out of there. I've been hearing a lot of lip service from a lot of people wishing they could help me. Well, you could help him. Nezu considered Five's words carefully, looking out to the field where Midoriya suddenly blew past his classmates, and Shoto decided to just ice over the field, helping other students, then bothering evading any longer. Do you have any proof? Are you acting solely on young Todoroki's words? Does there need to be proof for it to be true? Five snarled. Nezu held up a paw. I'm not saying I don't believe you. On the contrary, there are several things that I've noticed as red flags for him that are now starting to fit into place. However, I need to know all the facts that we can work with before making any rash movements. Endeavor's team is very strong, both legally and at managing their image, and I know for a fact they have tight ties with the Hero Commission. I am confident we'll be able to extract young Todoroki, but we will need to be extremely careful, or the backlash may be worse for Todoroki himself than it will be for Endeavor. Five held his arm to his chest, awkwardly avoiding the teacup in hand. I don't have any proof. I'm not sure Todoroki even wants other people to know about it right now. I'm just sick of people using their powers over others to run sick experimentations. Are you gonna help me take him down or not? Nezu's expression was almost wary as he smiled at Five. You made it quite clear that I have little choice in the matter, though I'm quite curious. What would your methods of disposal have been? Five watched him for a moment, measuring how serious he was supposed to answer, and then decided that, with how much Nezu seemed to know about him, he probably knew how brutal Five's methods have been up until now. Ideally, I'd be able to sneak up on him while he was sleeping and deal a swift enough blow that he'll never see it coming, and make an immediate exit. But the blame for that would probably come back to hurt Shoto in the end. Any other method would probably leave me dead or in prison. And if I follow through with either of those consequences, I can't do whatever important things I'm supposed to be doing back in the past. Indeed, Nezu agreed, sipping his tea. I wouldn't recommend it. I am a little surprised that you are considering options that would potentially keep you from your siblings longer than necessary. If you're not bluffing, that would be quite the threat. Though it persists that, so long as you're alive, it would be possible that you would be able to fulfill your timeline needs further in the future. You do have time travel abilities, after all. Nezu set his cup down. But I am a creature of my word. I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that young Todoroki will be safe from his father, as well as conducting a full investigation into Endeavor. Nezu met Five's eyes. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. If there's one thing that I cannot abide by, it's genetic experimentation. Endeavor will pay for his actions. I promise you this. A chill ran down Five's spine. He could hear in Nezu's voice how serious he was. He kind of wanted to cry. Was this what being taken serious was like? Have you told anyone else about this? Nezu asked. Not yet, Five said, averting his eyes. I figured I might as well start at the top with something as serious as this. It's a good instinct, though I would advise not mentioning plans for a murder of the number 2 hero out loud to anyone else. It's bad optics, if nothing else, and could be considered a crime if someone believed you to make a legitimate attempt. Five raised an eyebrow. But it's fine in front of you? I specialize in threat elimination, Nedzu said, his grin inhumanly wide. I am no stranger to unconventional or unsavory methods to complete a mission. Five laughed, his own grin sharp. I'm glad we're finally on the same page. Indeed. Nedzu slipped his paw. I will need to talk to Eraserhead about this, at the very least, as he is young Todoroki's homeroom teacher. You may also tell President Mike, if you like. I will ask you not to speak about Todoroki's situation with anyone else, unless Todoroki or one of us has initiated it. However, this would be a delicate operation, and the less people know about our investigation, the better. Five supposed that made sense. So I'm just supposed to trust that you're getting things done behind the scenes and wait like a good little boy? You're welcome to check in on the investigation, should you choose. Nedzu slipped his tea. Though with an operation this large, it will be slow going. It'll be easier to get young Todoroki out of his household than it would be to remove Endeavor's influence and social standing. However, and if I move up plans that I already have in the works, so as long as our first priority is young Todoroki's safety, we should make significant progress relatively quickly. You don't have reason to believe he is in immediate danger, do you? Five considered what Todoroki had told him carefully. He might, if he loses. Though I don't think Endeavor would do anything to put his life in danger. Even my old man recognized that would be counterproductive. Then there is little we can do today, especially without Todoroki's cooperation. I would suggest that you return to the stands and enjoy what is left of the sports festival. It is a highly anticipated event. Yeah, so fun to watch teenagers fight against each other on national television. Not dystopian at all. Nedzu simply smiled at Five. And yet it is still an improvement from your own time, is it not? Five couldn't refute it. Okay, I got my definite answer. Nedzu is not a bad person. Okay, thank you. Alright, I've been debating it. It's I don't know, but I think this chapter really solidified my beliefs that, okay, Nedzu's actually good. He's manipulative in the sense of he is chaotic neutral. In the sense of, okay, look, if you're good to him, he'll be good to you, right? And as long as you're not getting in the way of his plans, it's all good. It's all great, right? Overall, he's working for a goal. He's manipulating the people he needs to be able to create a better world where people like Five, Todoroki, and him never get experimented on, or abused because of higher powered people, right? In the sense of either you're literally experimented on or you are bought off to literally make, what's it called? Child soldiers. Or, your mother is bought off to reproduce to make you to then be trained to become your predecessor. I feel like Nedzu is working towards that goal of, okay, no one is ever gonna get harmed because someone in a higher power, won't, mess around. And either that or in the sense of okay, people in the higher power are not going to be able to get away with this as much as they used to in the old system, right? Whichever case. Well, also, you know what? No, Nedzu would probably be able to make it to the point where it's yeah, no one ever gets hurt ever again. I feel like Nedzu can, if he had enough time and enough resources, he would be able to do that. He would. Oh, he is so smart. I always love Nedzu being good fanfictions. There's a small part of me that absolutely love Nedzu, which is why I'm super excited to write this one fanfic. God, I need to remember the whole fucking name because it's a whole length. Okay. Abandoned, trapped, feared, and loved, right? Where we have Dinky being adopted by Nedzu. So, imagine that. Which, by the way, you should be scared of that. That should make you scared. It makes me scared just thinking about it, and I have to write it. But, yeah. I love Nedzu. Whoever loves Nedzu, is there a rat emoji? Is there a rat emoji? I gotta check. Is there a rat emoji? Does a rat emoji exist out there? I am checking right now. Does a rat emoji exist? So if I go to emojis and then I go to search rat. A rat emoji does exist. Send rat emojis in my what's it called? In the comments. Send rat emojis if you love Nedzu. If you love Nedzu, yes. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.